Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this Monday morning. We're getting ready to get started on week 3 of our surge. And this morning, we're going to start with mastering your CRM with MoxiEngage, the CRM that you all have via your relationship with Intero. Some of you may use another CRM. Some of you may not even use MoxiEngage. That's okay. What you're going to find, hopefully, at the end of this hour is that this is the tool you get for free, which means that it's likely the one to give you the most return on investment since you're paying very little to nothing for it. And if you are using another one, I want you to focus on two things. The one that you're currently using should, at a minimum, do what we described today and do it way better and more effectively than this one to be worth the cost that you're paying outside of MoxiEngage. But at the end of the day, as long as you're using the one that you have and you feel it helps you do your daily task, then I'm not telling you to get rid of it. I'm just teaching you a different way to see how a CRM should work and how it can work and how it can help you build your business. And what I want you to keep in mind, not only this morning, but the rest of this week, as we focus in on the tools that you have at your disposal at Intero, I want you to think that we're going to be focusing on 4 different dollar producing activities and how these tools help it. And that is prospecting, listing, selling, and negotiating. That's where I want the focus to be. And also a reminder that the first few weeks, we focused on setting up your database, understanding scripts, dialogues, and conversations to fill that database, setting schedules and time management, defining your values using values-based goal setting, and finally, business planning. All of those are the groundwork, the foundation for your business, and I hope you've enjoyed those. Now, these tools that we're sharing are all designed to enhance and build on those items that we've covered. So I might be referencing back as we go through this on those areas. So again, please keep that in mind. So with that, let's jump in to mastering your CRM with MoxiEngage. So the goals for today are to show you and teach you and explain to you how this tool will help you with productivity, keeping your goals top of mind, and ease of use. So let's start with a few questions. How many of you use a productivity tool right now? And that means use it. Doesn't mean you have it. Doesn't mean you pay for it. It means you use it. And if you use it, it's on a daily basis. How many of you use a CMA tool right now? We had a great CMA training by Rusty Papp on Friday. I hope you all watched it. If not, I hope you go back and see it. And a good model on what to use if you don't know how to use any other CMA tool. How many of you have a business plan? We've kind of touched on this before. And how many of you have set a monetary goal for the year? All of these answers, if they're not a yes now, they should be by the end of this week. And you should have a big head start on how to manage them and use them. And then how do agents find business? We'll help you with that. So they're going to be from existing sources of income, prospecting, and responding to internet leads. Those are 3 major categories right now. And existing source, well, let's touch on it. Here are the 3 sources. And here's based on National Association of Realtors, how those 3 areas are defined, not defined, but sourced, and the percentage that they generate for realtors. Obviously, the biggest one is prospecting. Source of income is another way to say a sphere of influence or past clients. And then the smallest one is internet leads. The ones on the left, internet leads and prospecting, have about a 1% close rate on average. The ones on the right have a 70% close rate on average. And you can imagine which one we want you to use. And it's the one on the right. And your database allows you to do that. And yet, why are internet leads so popular? Why is Zillow and all these other internet sourced companies so popular and so huge and worth so much money? And this gives you an idea. It's the traffic. How many eyeballs are on it? Investors love that. Investors love to see how many people are looking at your service, your source, your perceived value. And to make that a little more dramatic and clear for you as an agent, and I always say, don't worry about the big companies, and here's why. Down at the very bottom, you see annual home sales. and it doesn't change very much. It just plugs along. You can see here since 2008 at a very consistent level. New internet leads vastly dwarf and outstrip the 5 million homes sold every year. Portal traffic, I think this is through 2014, it's much larger now, nearly 80 million visitors per month at Zillow.com. 80 million visitors. Only about 5 million homes will be sold. So what Zillow is selling you and the public and other realtors is all these multiple looks into properties. What's going to convert is the same 5 million or so leads. This is where your CRM, and if you use it properly, can dramatically increase. If you're not doing anything systematically and efficiently, then you can't compete with this. If you're just showing up every day and hoping they call you or hoping you run into someone, they're going to run into someone online way before they talk to you. If you master your CRM and you master your scripts and you master your schedule and your business plan that has you contacting people, your just mets, your advocates, asking for business, then you're going to get more than your fair share of this. And you don't have to be in the millions. You have to be, for some of you, 5 more, some of you 10 more, some of you 20 more, all completely doable when you understand this dynamic. All right, so average time spent getting business, this is where you should focus. Your source of income, your sphere of influence. What we did last week is we talked about building your database and how important your sphere, your past clients were to that. And you're always adding, you're always prospecting, because you want to get these into your pipeline so that they eventually become this, okay? And so don't be fooled by this. When we say prospecting, the prospecting is the job you must do to fill your source of income, your SOI, eventually your advocates, your clients, past clients, and things like that. So I'm not saying this is bad. This is very necessary. But if you think you're always going to get all your business from here, and all your activities or lack thereof are focused on this will suffer. All right, so MoxiWorks is going to help you with this. And MoxiEngage, the CRM portion of MoxiWorks, is designed for this. And I want to share this with, they say that their methodology has a 38% GCI improvement from the methodology. It means if you do what they say, which we'll cover today, your GCI should increase by 38%. Your recorded average GCI of 112,000 per agent was in 2014. It's much higher now, but I don't have their most recent numbers. But that's not what's important to me. The challenge is not proving to you that it works. I already know it does. Moxie knows it does. Intero knows it does. That's why they purchased Moxie, every agent that works with them. The challenge is getting to use it and understand it and master it. And that's what we want to focus on today. I'm not going to convince you that a CRM works. I'm not going to convince you that the top agents, the most productive agents, religiously understand and use their CRM. I already know that. And everyone knows that, frankly. My hope and my challenge is to get you to start using it, at least at a basic level, to dramatically increase your production and productivity. All right, so let's get started. Mastering your CRM with MoxiEngage. In the upcoming sections, you will learn the 5 simple steps you should complete to maximize all the benefits that MoxiEngage has to offer. If you follow this 5-step process, it will make your transition to MoxiEngage easy and fast. If you're already engaged with it, if you understand all these at a better level, again, it will increase your production. Follow the steps in the exact order to ensure the best and most efficient setup possible. First is importing your people and I didn't set this up right. The second one is setting your GCI goal. The third is organizing your people. These are your leads. The fourth is setting your subscriptions. And the fifth is move your people through the sales flow. Understand these 5 steps. Work on them every single day. Some of you have learned in our daily checkup, at the end we say task completed. And some are like, well, what task? Well, these are 5 tasks. Going forward, as you work with this in Surge, you should always be doing one of these. If you already have all these set up, you should be adding people to your database. If you set your subscription, organize your people, and are moving people through the sales flow, then you're going to learn you're always adding tasks to your daily schedule. So never more after today should anyone ask, what does the set task completed at the end of the check-in mean? All right, so one of the biggest mistakes most agents make, from brand new agents to top producers, is that they do not learn to leverage their CRM to its maximum capacity. They may use it, they may not. Even if they use it, they don't use every piece of functionality to help them grow. Thus, they limit their ability to focus on dollar-producing activities, which again are these four: prospecting, listing, selling, negotiating. In a perfect workday for a realtor, they're only doing these four things. Most agents, conversely, are doing everything and never get to these four things, and that's why they struggle. And part of it, again, as we've talked about in days past, is because all of the tasks, all of the things, the whirlwind of activities that realtors find themselves in every single day. And they catch themselves in the trap of doing those things instead of focusing on these four. And your CRM, if you set it up properly and you allow it to run your business, allows you to do more of these four. So here are a few things that CRM MoxiEngage can help you do. It can add your contacts, track client engagement and interactions, create an automated business plan, and drive more business. Reach out to clients and SOI in the right way and at the right time. Send email campaigns to stay top of mind with your sphere. Receive task and lead notifications so you never miss a chance to win business. Send automated market snapshots to keep clients in touch with local listings. And it's integrated with the MLS, so your listing data is always up to date. Now, you're going to find it is way more than this, but this is the minimum requirement. This is, if you set this up and you do these things, I think you can already see in your head, if I did these things every single day, I would do more business. If I set up a system that automatically did these things for me every day, I would do even more business. So hopefully that encourages you to start really paying attention and to be determined to set these things up and use them. The first step is importing your people. But before we do that, I want to show you this video. And this video is going to show you all about 5 or 6 different things, from setting goals to accountability in your system, in your business, to do this. Now, this and almost everything else I'm going to show you is already available to you. It's been there under MoxiWorks, under their help. It's been there in the academy. And so all of this is designed for me to just put them in a system, in a way, in a fashion that helps you clearly see what we've gone through the last 2 weeks and what I want you to do going forward in understanding and using these tools. So let's jump into this quick, about 12-minute video. But pay attention to all the different methodologies and sources that Matthew Ferrari talks about in this model.
Hi, I'm York Bauer, and I'm here with Matthew Ferrara. Welcome, Matthew. And you've had a chance to look a little bit at the MoxiWorks product, I know, and be curious to get your impressions.
It's really fantastic. I'm amazed at how integrated it is and simple and straightforward. And for me, one of the things that was most impressive was the dashboard approach, because it allows people to just get to work right away, know exactly what's going on, and stop wasting time trying to be organized. It's instantly organized.
Yeah, and one of the things that is near and dear to my heart, as you know from the conversations, is the goal idea. In other words, it's one thing to give people a system, but if they don't have something they're aiming for, it's hard. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, one of the things I found with the best performing agents all around the world is they're really focused on goals more than process. So they know what they're after. Even though we put financial numbers into our system, they represent something. They represent vacation or sending the kids to college. They represent something more than just the money. But by seeing the money and by seeing the actual financial goals every day, it keeps them focused. It also keeps them sort of self-accountable. We talk a lot about accountability in this business, but at the end of the day, if they don't hold themselves accountable, it doesn't matter how much we motivate them. So I love a system like yours that really puts that accountability feature in, but also is much more of a reminder of what's really important. Why do I do the follow-up? It's because that goal is what's really important to me.
Yeah, and it's interesting you use the word accountability. A lot of times we'll present to clients and customers about it, and they'll say, so you call it a productivity system, but it's more like an accountability system, and that is in fact true. That's why we've automated the measurement too, because if you have to update it yourself, that's part of the accountability. So, and that's the other reason for extending it, by the way, to the manager tier. And I know you feel passionately about what's going on with the managing broker tier. So
I think it's a huge feature. I mean, one of the challenges for managers and owners on a regular basis is being valuable. And we always talk about them coaching and talk about them being mentors. But by giving them a dashboard that is factual, that they're able to look at what's actually happening in real time, they can do more relevant coaching, and they can actually make suggestions that are pertinent today. They're not backwards leaning, and at the same time, they're not in a vacuum. And so we want to talk always about, how do we retain agents and how do we provide great service and a system that empowers the manager and empowers the owner to have the information necessary to find the right aspects of their knowledge and their experience and turn that into coaching is really revolutionary. It's not just a report anymore. It's truly a performance management system.
Yeah, and with what in my opinion is a pretty high ratio of dozens of agents to a single manager, helping them be more effective as they then talk to their agents is critical. And creating a common language actually for them, the agent and the manager, for that half hour once a month to talk.
And you look at what managers and owners have to do today. They're constantly putting out fires. They're constantly, running around more crazy than ever. And the last thing they really need to do is have technology that requires them to do more work. Okay, so I have a database, but now I have to pull a report. It really is nonsensical. It's not a performance system. It's not a sales system, which is different with MoxiWorks because it's really designed from the other perspective. What do I need to be effective as an agent every day? What do I need to be effective as a manager and owner every day? And then you make all the other stuff invisible.
Yeah.
That dashboard approach is how the best companies in the world work. And they know exactly what the situation is and they can take action. And no one is doing the hard technical work anymore. They're focused on the outcomes. And those outcomes, by the way, aren't just great for the company and good for the agent. They're great for customers.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it's great that we can help agents be successful and we can make more money as a company. But it really comes down to, does this translate into a better experience for the client? Does this turn into a better transaction, a smoother one, and one that's so good it creates referrals, it generates repeat business,
right.
Which is the tie back to the sphere of influence.
Yes.
If we want repeat business, if we want referrals, then the experience has to be better. And for the experience to be better, the systems have to be better.
Yeah, and that's one of the other reasons that we spend so much time embodying a proven methodology. There's Windermere and other clients of ours that have spent all these decades figuring out how to deliver that high quality experience to consumer and embody it in the system. The thing we hear sometimes that an agent or a broker say, well, yeah, but my guys know how to do what they do. Well, sure. So does when you get to the analogy I give is when you get on an airplane and, go down to your local airport, get in seat, 33E, unfortunately, but the person sitting in that front left pilot seat, right? They have, in some cases, more than 10,000 hours experience. They know exactly what they're doing, that they still use checklists. Why? Because it's a complex thing. There's a lot going on, and you have to be reminded of not forgetting something along the way and staying on track with the task. And that's really what we're trying to do is not, tell agents what to do, but just help them deliver that high quality experience consistently.
Well, methodology is key, right? So it doesn't matter what business we're in, whether we're flying an airplane or we're flying a real estate transaction, a system and a process is what's key to quality controls, expectation management, and not letting, little things derail the process. And so when you think about a great integrated platform, it's not a database. We don't need another listing alphabetically of people we're not bothering to call or people we're not bothering to email. What we really need is a system that says, give us data, and then let's represent it to you in a way that allows you to do what you really want to do every day, which is sell. Agents want to sell every day. They don't want to manage databases. And managers, it's the same challenge for them. They don't want to manage technology. They want to coach, mentor, recruit, problem solve, and create strategy and grow the business. Look at data that helps them change the listing strategy, or look at the data and see that their price point is off, and what can we do about that? So at the end of the day, we often talk about technology, but we fail to talk about systems. And systems and methodology are really primary to the technology. It's how we sell, the process of making a great sale. And then we need to find technology that empowers that. And to be honest with you, there are very rare occurrences of that, not just in real estate, but all over in any industry.
Right.
And that's what makes Moxie really special, is it is a rare occurrence.
Yeah, and I think to your point, computers, this is something I've said throughout my technology career. Computers are good at certain things, humans are good at certain things. So let's have the computers do what they're really good at, which is keeping track of things and suggesting to the human things that only the human can do. So in this context, the computer can keep better track of 400 people in an agent's world in their sphere than they can.
Right.
But the computer can't call them, can't have copy of them, can't write them a handwritten note, can't have insight into what the be for their listing, et cetera. So that division is something we pay very close attention to.
It's a because what I think the computer can do is some automation that is a starting point. It's the basis. So the fact that you have an integrated marketing platform that automatically sends out neighborhood news or automatically sends out relevant real estate listing information because you're tied into the MLS. That's the basis of building trust. That's the basis of relationship management. And so then the system will do those base points automatically for the agent, but then asks them to do the part that only they can do. Make the follow-up call, check in with them on social media, send an email that's not just a template. There's a time for a template, and then there's a time for just a regular conversation. It's a great combination. I don't think it's either or. And sometimes systems have actually taken agents out of the selling process because they set them up and think, well, now it's just going to suddenly make sales for me. And I like that about the particular sort of philosophy of MoxiWorks, which is there's a lot of things that we can automate, streamline, and simplify, but we're also going to make it possible for you to be more effective in the things that only you can do.
And that's
as a salesperson.
People buy things from people they like, not from computers they like.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm with you. And that's one of the things too that we've tried hard to do. You've used the term integrated a bunch of times, and that is a super patch for me. When we showed up in this space and looked around, these systems are all closed.
Yeah.
And we have a bunch of stuff that works together in our system that we supply, but it's also connected to everybody else's systems. And the example I always use is email, because the thing is, when you ask an agent or any person, frankly, to enter something specially redundantly into this proprietary system over here, it doesn't happen. And so for us, entering stuff into the system is as simple as just typing it into your phone. Enter the contact in your phone, and boom, and magically through the cloud, it's now in MoxiWorks. By the way, you can log into MoxiWorks on your phone, but you don't have to.
Right.
You just put it in your phone, and there it is. And I think eliminating those kinds of barriers is key to getting the agent to actually use the thing, and that's why we have to try to adopt.
Well, to me, that's one of the most fabulous features of the product. When we were doing the demonstration, and you just put, for example, my name and phone number in, as if we met at a baseball game, and we just suddenly became acquaintances, and then the system did the rest of the work. It pulled in all of my social profiles, it pulled in any data that it could find. To me, that's making technology work for the person. So the salesperson doesn't want to have to go and find all of their accounts, find all of their relevant background information. So when the technology does that work, then I'm just doing natural work. I'm being friendly, building rapport, telling a story, getting you to like me, which is the basis of you then maybe doing business with me. Yeah. And I'm not worried about, well, what street address are you at? And can I have your cell phone number as well? Just give me one or two pieces of basic information and then let the system do the rest. That to me was hugely impressive.
Yeah, thanks. And it's fun. It's fun to watch the reactions. And again, the consumer, ultimately, to your point earlier, it's about making that consumer experience special at your brokerage.
That's right. And it takes a lot of the pressure off of worrying about what the next thing is. The most important next thing is the next call you're going to make, the next follow-up email, the next conversation you're going to have, not necessarily always the next gadget. And so I think this is a great way to build a high-performing organization that's attractive to customers and attractive to salespeople.
That's right. And we've put enough stuff in there that to use your term, is kind of the shiny part of it. In other words, for example, if you're recruiting agents, a lot of them are, are you going to give me leads? And yes, of course, Zillow's integrated in there, your brokerage website's integrated, the realtor's integrated. We've got all those pieces, but it's not really about that. It's about helping you be good with your sphere. And the other thing that we find a challenge is, think about your brokerage this way. You've got 100% of your agents here. The top 10%, they're probably the top 10% because they're already doing a lot of this stuff.
Right.
The bottom, third, they're you might have to question whether they're serious about, being in real estate. It's that 60% in the middle that really is the big lever.
Right.
And that's the thing that we're trying to affect is help you as a brokerage, move the needle with that 60% for them and for you.
And we know that systems work, right? So one of the great challenges with new agents is that if they don't make a sale quickly, it's very hard for them to stay in the business. So a system that gets them focused on where the most likely leads to generate a referral or a buyer or a seller, their sphere of influence, that's going to help you retain people new to the industry. When you look at that middle segment of agents, one of the hardest things about moving, say, from 6 deals a year to 16 deals a year is the organizational aspect. And in many ways, over the last 15 years, we've provided lots of opportunities, but never as sort of an instruction manual for the agent on how to do it right. But with Moxie, basically, it's both. It's the tools and the how-to. And so an agent who's trying to build their business doesn't have to figure out what two products work together, what two accounts do I need, how do I make all of that integration work. They basically say, platform allows me to grow the business without all the complexities, and that increases the likelihood that they'll get from 8 to 10, 10 to 16, and then beyond, whatever their career goal is.
Sure, and not every agent comes to the business or is in the business with all the skills and things they need, but everybody has a sphere. So, all right, Matt, well, thanks very much for taking the time to look at the system and share your thoughts with us, and thanks all for watching. I'm York Bauer.
All right, so I hope that was informational. You may have seen it before. I would say you should watch that at least once a month to really fundamentally understand what you should be doing every single day with your CRM. I took a few notes to make sure I shared with you what my thoughts were. And the things that stuck out to me, there were quite a few, were number one, it allows you to stop wasting time. I don't mean that negatively. I'm not meaning like you're not working. I'm saying you're working too much because you're doing things that a technology, a computer, a system can do much more efficiently and much better than you can. And that's what I mean by wasting time. You're doing what a tool that you have at your disposal can do much faster and much better than you can. And that by definition is going to decrease your efficiency and decrease your productivity and decrease your paycheck. The next thing, it helps you set goals. We've talked about the best way, I think, to set your goals, but then what do you do once you figure out what your goals are? Where do you put them? How do you drive them? This does it for you. The next thing is an accountability system. It tells you every single day because it has tasks and it identifies and pings you when those tasks are due. Are you doing what you said you're going to do and what you know you're supposed to do? So it's a great accountability system if you use it. The manager tier, they mentioned that briefly, and that's for me very important because it helps us in leadership understand where your business is and where do you specifically need help. Where can we drive focused, specific training to you that we can identify based on where you are. And when we did the scorecard, I talked to you about that. I said, we're going to build a training system that is all encompassing and kind of a baseline for the office, but we're going to find ways to figure out what do you need? What is your training platform? What is your training program? What do we as leaders need to provide you to engage and enhance your business? I love the idea that the data points, the systems, and the methodology will help your business grow. We know that. But you do that without MoxiEngage, you do that without technology. But when you add technology to those data points and methodologies and the systems, then that helps you dramatically improve and increase your business because it creates a more efficient system, it creates a better model. And again, it frees you from the time that you do everything else other than listing, selling, negotiating, and prospecting. All right, so we're going to jump now into some of the specific items, the 5 items you need to do. We're going to go relatively quickly here. And what I hope is this video, this program, because it's recorded, whenever you have doubts, whenever you want a quick, fast reference point on what the 5 things you should be doing, every time you hear another training, another coaching system, another platform on this is what you should be doing with your CRM, this is why you should pay for this one, here's a cool new trick on how to do these things. Ignore them until you've mastered these 5 with this free CRM. Once you've mastered this free CRM and you set up these 5 platforms on this CRM, then you can start talking about how do you integrate Zillow, how do you integrate Pinterest and Facebook. And I'm not saying you can't do those things or shouldn't do those things, but there's a process. If you haven't set up and maximized your CRM, if you haven't maximized the 5 things in your CRM, when you pay for Zillow leads, you are going to lose money. If you are not doing these things, when you go and invest time and or money on a Facebook campaign, on a Pinterest campaign, on a TikTok, or whatever the latest new technological thing is, you're going to lose money. All right? So keep that in mind. I'm not saying those things are bad. Eventually, I want all of you to be doing all of these things, but I want to burn into your brain, not until you master these next 5 steps. Okay? So what are they? Importing your people, get your contacts imported and organized as a huge first step into getting the most out of MoxiEngage or any CRM. But with today's technology, there can be a lot of moving parts that need to be taken into account. Check out their guide for best practices with contact management in MoxiEngage. This will help you to hit the ground running with all your contacts from all your contact sources. Organizing your contacts, Engage, and your email. MoxiEngage syncs with your company email to save you time and eliminate the need for multiple databases. And when you do this, your database is with you all day long in your phone. Every time you meet a new person, you're just met, you put in their information, you put in their name, and boom, it gets sent into your MoxiEngage as a just met, getting ready to be put into systems and drip campaigns, asking for referrals, asking for business. And because you've said it, you forget it, you just do the simple steps. Why do we pick a tool that syncs with your email? It reduces having to add contacts to multiple databases. It's easier to maintain your base and more efficient and saves you time. Your contacts, your email contacts will automatically sync with Engage, helping you maintain a single contact database, reducing double entry of information and keeping your contacts organized. What does this mean for you? When you first log into Engage, all of your contacts will sync and be added to your Engage account. Since all of your contacts will sync, it's important to organize and clean up your contact database within your email. So you do that first. If you haven't done it, you can still fix it, but ideally you do this first. After your initial login, when you add a new contact to your email or phone, if it's set up, it will automatically get added to your Engage account as a new contact. If you add a contact in Engage, it automatically syncs to your email as well. If you remove a contact in Engage, it will not get removed from email. However, if you remove a contact from your email, it will be deleted in both email and Engage. Again, your email groups will also be synced with Engage. If you have groups in your email, your groups will be brought over to Engage. Contacts will be in the correct groups upon first login. When you add a contact into a group in your email, the contact will be added to the group in MoxiEngage as well. It syncs your calendar, so you always have a really easy place to see everything that you're doing in your database, in your reports on what you're supposed to be doing with your transactions today, with your leads today. Again, the idea of on the 5 o'clock check-in, when you say task completed, it's in your calendar, it's MoxiEngage is giving you prompts and reminders on things you need to do each day, thus creating tasks, thus creating accountability at the end of the day. Did you do the task that you set for yourself? All right, best practices for contact organization and cleanup. Duplicate contacts. Prior to importing contacts, compare contacts to those you already have in your email account. And here are some easy ways to do this. Now, all of these things, though we say they're easy, they're not. But this is why you have your MITs. This is why you have your IT departments. At the end of this, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to introduce a plan, an idea on how to maximize the MITs and your IT department in setting up your Engage database. All right, contacts and phone setting options. Again, I'm not going to go in through all of this. This is exactly what your MITs and IT department are for. Again, I want to set up some parameters on how to best use that resource at the end of this. So we don't have to go into it too deeply right now. Just know it can do all of this, and it should do all of this to sync and automate all of these contacts, schedule, calendars, and tasks for you. All right, so setting your GCI goal. This is big. Setting a goal drives your performance just as much as the right tools. Enter your gross commission income goal into MoxiEngage and let the system help you take the daily steps needed to make your goal a reality. Now, we spent time last week discussing how to create those goals, discussing a business plan that will put those goals into a system that's doable and reachable. And once you do all that, then you got the number that you put into MoxiEngage. I don't recommend you just go in there and say, I'm going to make $1 million. That means nothing. And in fact, it's going to drive you crazy, because then it'll set your daily activities to do something that you're not set up for. So how do you do it? When you sign into MoxiEngage for the first time, you'll be prompted to enter your GCI goal. Oops, sorry, clicked the wrong button. After entering your GCI goal, select Start using MoxiEngage. So you put in your goal here and hit Start. It's possible you have already completed the step and need to edit your GCI goal. If so, there's a place on the website where it says editing your GCI goal. You should do that. Go back, redo your business plan based on values-based goals, and then go in and put a realistic number that drives your daily activities. To get to the goals module, you log in and you select the trophy icon in the goals section right here. The red arrow's not there, sorry, but this is it right here. This will bring to the goal screen, which you see below. And you see how it's set up. It has your GCI goal, where you are on track to hitting it, number of transactions, average size, average rate, category of transactions, closed, active and pending, prospects, forecast, comparable average. On your closed transaction, you'll have buyers and sellers, average time to close, average size, close rate, number of transactions completed, average time to close, average size. So what you see here, as I hope you're trying to see now, is the accountability and the rhythm and the pace of what your business is or is not doing to reach the goals you're setting. This is an example where if you've gone through all the steps of your business plan, if you set up your database, if you're practicing your scripts, if you're executing on your prospecting methods and you're getting people into your pipeline, you don't have to wait to the end of the year to figure out, are you on track? It will tell you from week one, from month one, from month two. If you set a GCI goal of 250,000 and it's June and you're 25% of the way, you need help. If you set a goal of 200,000 and it's June and you're 90% of the way, then you need help. You need help because you didn't set your goals high enough, and that's also going to harm your business. So all of these things, first to your own eyes, you can track and see, is your business on pace with the business plan I set up for myself based on my goals, based on my personal values, based on my personal needs and wants. It's there every single day for you. At the manager level, we can see it too. So we can see, are you on pace? Are you on goal? Do you need help? Do we need to sit down and talk about, did you set your goals too high? Did you set some unrealistic parameters? Or is there some other challenge that you're facing? Are you getting appointments but not converting and closing them? Are you too full on buyers and not enough sellers, or vice versa? Any number of things. Are you above or below the average in the office? Are you above or below the averages in the industry? All of these things will allow us as leaders, coaches, trainers, managers to really engage with you on a personal level in your personal business without spending hours each week talking to each other, but directed and focused and driven a resource to help you with your business. So you'll be able to, again, you'll be able to review all these things. And this is just a quick example of where all these things are and what they do for you to reference back if you need to. We're going to be able to go into your closed transactions, and you can too. So you'll see here displayed is the list and stats for all closed transactions. We kind of went all over that already. So you can keep a really tight grasp on your closed transactions and how you're performing, where you need help, what you need to do, how you're comparing to office, how you're comparing to market, and what you need to do next. You'll be able to look and track at your active and pending prospects. And the same thing, where are you? What do you need help with? Are you on track? Are you behind? Are you ahead? All things that are actionable and coachable. Your GCI forecast, you should never worry about, is your income on track? Are the things you want and the things you need in place to become accomplished? Get out of the rhythm and the cycle of starvation and then massive work to get a deal, and then starvation, then massive work to get a deal. It should be consistent, it should be rhythmic, it should be predictable, and allow you to grow systematically over time. And then the comparable averages, how are you doing compared to the office? We're in the same market, we have the same tools, we have the same advantages, same disadvantages. So marketing yourself towards the office is a really, really great way to figure out, are you on track? And then of course, to my MLS is to the greater market. So ideally for Jess, this is better than this. And of course, our job is to make sure it is. And so if we track and build an office that is consistently outperforming the MLS, and you have been chosen and decided to be in a premier office, are always tracking to the absolute best, not just an average. All right, so all that's only done if you go in, once you set up your people, is organizing them. So how do you do that? Not all your contacts should go directly into the marketing flow. They will eventually, but first you find out where they need to be. So you go into the My People screen, select the Guide Me button, and click it. Now you'll be in the uncategorized screen where you will see your uncategorized contacts. All of them will be in here, and you'll be able to see where to put them. So you can select the client button on your contact card, this little house with the $sign. To add this person into the marketing flow, select Not Ready to Buy or Sell. If you would like to add them in as a prospect, since they have expressed interest in buying or selling, select either the buyer or seller circled in blue. So this is when that first data dump comes in. Everybody's a buyer or a seller. And you start to putting them into those. That then will tie into your campaigns, drip campaigns, your daily activities, your daily tasks, which you will then be self-accountable for and accountable to Jess and I on your performance and production each day. You select the non-client button. If you would like to make this a personal contact so they don't show up in your sales flow, select the personal button. That means they're not going to be put into your drip campaigns. This is just your Aunt Mary. This is just your best friend from college. And if for whatever reason you don't want those to be referral sources, keep them in your personal contacts. If you would like to make this contact a collaborator because you work closely with them, select the collaborator button. If you do not want this person in your Engage account, select the remove from button. So again, step-by-step instructions. These are in multiple places in multiple areas. And I think we can set up a system to get you focused, guided work help in the office. So again, I'm not going to go through every single step here. You can reference back to your slides. It'll show you where you can go onto your Intero hub and find where all of these things are. The way it's set up there, in my opinion, is so much information, it's almost impossible to find it. But this flow, this idea will guide you again into setting up the 5 basic principles, the things that you have to have. If you do that, then it'll be much easier to add on later with more specialized tasks and things that you need or want to do. Set your subscriptions once you set up your people in your database. There's more than this, but we're going to start with these 2. The first is neighborhood news and listing announcements. We talk about sending out CMAs. We talk about sending letters in our daily tasks the first couple of weeks. Here's another place where you can automate that and create tasks that you can check off for self-accountability and performance and production in your business. So subscribing an individual to neighborhood news. From your Engage dashboard, select all people and just click it. From there, from the My People screen, select the person to whom you would like to subscribe to neighborhood news. So within your list, you'll find them. If you want to add them to your neighborhood news, in your geo farm or any type of farm you set up, you click it. From the profile page, scroll down to subscription section and select Add Subscriptions right down here. From the subscription form section, choose Add Subscriptions here for neighborhood news. Choose if you would like to do a quick neighborhood news or a custom here. The quick neighborhood news subscribes a client's email to a particular zip code for the market report. Custom subscribes a client's email to a customized search for the market report. These may be B and C clients. This might be an A client. While moving your people and their transactions through the sales flow, you may wish to send out announcements regarding just listed or just sold properties. Subscribing people to listing announcements allows you to send these notifications to your marketing sphere. So once again, there's really great articles and tools on how to do this. I've downloaded the PDF tasks. So if you have trouble finding the how-tos, the where-tos on Moxie for any reason, ask me and I'll email you the PDF document that walks you step by step on how to do all of these things for these 5 categories. This will bring you to the My People screen. Select the person to whom you would like to subscribe listing announcements. In this example, Armand Myers is the client selected, and hit it. This will take you to the profile page for the selected person. Scroll down to subscription section here. Click Add Subscriptions. Note, if you already have 1 or more subscriptions, they will be listed here so you don't double book people. This opens the subscriptions form, and then you hit it. Click Add Subscription button within the listing announcement subscription, which is right here. Select the email address to which you would like to send listing announcements, indicated here by the red arrow, right down here. And you select the announcements you would like this person to receive. Just listed, just sold. Click Done. All right, so again, you see how these are the functional tools that allow you to automate and make systematic some of the tasks that we've been assigning you in homework during the day for the past 2 weeks. And we did that on purpose. I want to get you engaged and finding what you need to be doing every day. And now we're showing you how do you do it faster? How do you make it easier? How do you make it so it's sit and forget? It just prompts you, send the just listed, send the just sold. It creates a task that you fill out. And so hopefully going forward on your tasks selected, tasks completed every day, I'm going to start hearing numbers like 10, 12, 15 tasks, because if you have a good database, if you set up all of these things beforehand, you're going to be loaded with things to do. Now, most of these things are going to be do this, click, it's done. Do this next, click, it's done. Do this, click, it's done. Obviously, not to begin with. To begin with, you've got to set these things up. You've got to go through all these steps. But I hope you understand, if you take the time now, if it takes you a day, if it takes you a week, if it takes you a month, it doesn't matter, because going forward for the years you're doing this business, it's already done for you. And it's just click and forget, click and forget, click and forget. Automated, easy, allowing you to focus on listing, selling, prospecting, and negotiating. So moving your people through the sales flow. Again, I'm doing this really quick, and this is, again, once you've set all these things up, it's going to show you every single day what you need to be doing to make sure your transactions are moving the way they should be doing. Again, all of these things are online. They're already there for you. You may have even seen them before, but I want you to create this understanding, this tying into training to what you actually do every single day. So each sales flow zone is a milestone for an individual client's progress towards a successful transaction. These milestones each have tasks for you to customize and complete to help you stay on top of the transaction. As you continue to complete tasks, move your client's transactions through the zones of the sales flow until you're ready to close. Again, we'll do a very quick, high-level overview, but just once you set it up, it's just boom, 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 automatic, keeps you focused, keeps you trained in on moving your business forward each day without taking all day just working on your business, but building your business instead. So you have the client's contact card, select make this person a prospect, and choose whether they are a buyer or seller. So this is what you do. You get a new buyer, you get a new seller, they're in your contacts, start it off. Once you have chosen the transaction type, you will be able to add the transaction details. Once you have finished adding your details, select done and save your transaction. On that card, the tasks for that sales flow zone will be displayed for you to work on. Select the tasks from the contact card and mark them done as needed. These are the tasks you complete each day. After you've completed all the desired tasks and are ready to move on, select Move to Active Zone. A pop-up will appear for you to verify you would like to move the transaction forward. Just like this. In the Details tab, enter all necessary detail for your transaction. If you haven't already, if you have, you can use the Edit button to make any needed changes. And it's just one step after the other. It'll be completely automated, keep you on task, keep you on time. You'll never forget to do anything again, and you will be well on your way to building the business that you really, really want and that you really need to execute on. So I want to just wrap up and refocus. Again, I found over time, these last many years managing and training agents, when they fail or when they struggle, it's usually not because they don't have enough leads. It's usually because they don't manage those leads the way they can and they should. When they don't manage the leads the way they can or they should, it's not because they haven't been trained or because they don't have the right tools. It's usually because having the tool and the right training have not been meshed. They've not really been designed to show you fundamentally how engaging with the tool will allow you to lead a better and grow a better business. So we say, you must do this. And then we say, here's how you do it. And then we say, do it. And the agent doesn't. Now, we know and we have an idea of the number of agents that engage with their CRM. Now we do that, we know, because again, I can log in. Jess can log in and see who's on Moxie. And you might say, well, I'm not using Moxie, I'm using another one. Well, with the most fundamental way a manager can see if an agent is utilizing their CRM properly is the amount of business they do. If someone is doing 10, 15, 20, 30 deals a year, they're probably engaging at least at a very minimum basic level with their CRM. If they're doing below 5 deals, they're not using their CRM. They may be logging in, they may be paying the bill for it each month if they have one outside of MoxiEngage, but they're not using it properly. And this is what I hope to engage you with today, no pun intended. Watch this video as many times as you need to, especially the Matthew Ferrara interview. Go back and focus on the modules that we've talked about for the first couple of weeks in Surge. Understanding and building your database, what it's supposed to look like, how it's supposed to work, understanding scripts and dialogues, which allows you to engage with your database and grow your database by prospecting and marketing. And then when you have touch points, knowing what to say at the right time, in the right way, to the right people, to move them along in your referral or business database. If you learn to do these things, then the hard job of working in your database, the scary job of actually calling people, doesn't become less scary, but it becomes way more profitable. And thus it becomes a carrot versus a stick, and saying, I don't really enjoy it. It's really hard to do, but my goodness, when I do it and I do it correctly, my income increases. As my income increases, more of my goals in life and business are set, because it makes it easier for me to reach the goals I want. Perhaps that means I spend less time working and more time with my family. If you are strictly on a referral-based business and you don't want to be engaged in a business that has you doing 10, 15, 20 deals, but you have a database of 500 people plus, then there's 10 to 20 deals in there. That doesn't mean you have to do them. If you do this work and you set up your database correctly, you will be consistently pinged with opportunities. You can choose, I want to do this one. This is my friend. This is my past client. Here's someone that's just met for the last 6 months, 2 years, whatever, and they want to sell their house. I don't want to do it. Refer it out. Become a referral source. Remember I said earlier, you can become a Zillow. You can become this kind of entity that creates opportunity for yourself and for others. This is what, when I've talked in the scorecard, I talked to a lot of you that said, well, I only do business by referral. I only work with my past clients. And I want you to understand what that means. You can become a hub. You can become a hub that still creates opportunity and doesn't have to fundamentally change how they run their business. You're comfortable, you're happy, your goals are based on 4 to 5 transactions a year. It's not for me to say you must do 10. But if you do the work the right way, maximizing and leveraging these tools and understanding how they work together, you will increase your business. You will increase your productivity. You will increase your income without adding a lot more work. Now, the final piece is I talked about how I know this stuff isn't easy. I need help with it. Many of you need help with it. But here is the design that I hope we adopt here. Your MIT can do it for you. IT can help you and walk you through each of these steps for you. But if you're not committed to understanding your database, building your database, practicing and working with scripts, creating your value-based goals that impact and influence your business plan, and you don't have a business plan, then we're not using our MITs correctly. They're showing you how to set up a drip campaign where you have nothing to feed into a drip. They'll show you how to set up your contacts when you're not going to call them or respond to them when they call. Now, I don't want this to sound negative. I want you to sound empowering. We can use the MITs. We can leverage their time in your business. They can become a central focal point in your business if you've done all the things leading up to utilizing, leveraging them, and helping them build your business. They become very powerful, something that we have done very well in my previous office. And I believe why we had the most impactful MITs in the past is because we built this system and this model where you do what you can do and should do before you engage with the MIT. That means every hour that they spend with an agent building and helping them in their understanding and setting up of Moxie becomes dramatically amplified and dramatically more powerful for the agent, for the MIT, and for the office. These are the steps, the 1, 2, 3 steps that will allow you to get where you want. It'll allow the office to get where it wants. It'll allow for Jess to complete his goals, meet what we're trying to accomplish as a team. And this is that virtual cycle where we want to have the best agents. We want to have the best staff, all part of the best office. This must be built on a process, on a system that is equitable for everyone involved. If you go take an hour of the MIT's time saying, can you help me set up my database? And you're not set up, and you're not going to call, and you're not going to respond to calls when they do come in, then we've lost a lot of productivity in the office. If you've done the things we've taught for the last 2 weeks, and you say, come in and say, I've done everything so far, I've been practicing my skills, I've set up my database, I've created a values-based goals, put those goals into a business plan, and now I'm ready to take off, but I need to master my CRM. Can you help me do these 5 things? Then that becomes really impactful work. That becomes powerful to you, to the office and the company. And that is what I hope we all understand and engage with going forward. And that's what will really, really keep you from ever saying, I don't understand Moxie. I don't know where to go get help. I don't know how to do it. It sounds great, but just where do I start? This is where you start. Master the things we've taught you the last 10 days or so. Get up, get set, get prepared, and then go set up an appointment with your MIT and get it all done. All right. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope this was a new understanding of what MoxiEngage is, how it works, and how you can make it more impactful in your business and your career. And I look forward to seeing you the rest of the day in our 9:30 scripts practice and your check-in later today. And then I hope we started filling in, what do these activities, what does this daily homework, and what do the tasks and the check-in mean? We'll do more of it the rest of this week. We'll be focusing on Real Scout tomorrow and a few of the other tools. And we'll have the same focus, not just a how-to, but a why. And then where and when and how will you engage with it and build it into your business, and how are you going to get the help from the office to maximize it, right? See you guys later.